Welcome back to the channel. I'm here with another quick unboxing video of a vintage kit, and this is another one I'm possibly going to be using for my RCAF What If series that I picked up from a estate sale a while back. These aren't necessarily state of the art, but it's kind of fun to go down memory lane. So today, obviously, as you can see, this is the F19, as they called it, Stealth in 1/72nd scale from Italeri. This is actually a 1987 release, I'm pretty sure. And then this is based off the original Testers 1986 mold. Obviously, this was a what if at the time. As we all know, later on, the F-117 was released. And this is what a lot of the what ifs and conjecture was about. So, anyway, you've got the standard box here. Basically, a fictional painting of the aircraft. On the back, you've got some suggested schemes, both a black and a light gray scheme. Pretty straightforward overall, top and bottom, so fairly easy to paint. Then we've got not much else on the sides, just basically the repeat of the box art, etc. So, yeah. Anyway, let's look into the individual parts, shall we? So I'm just going to start with the instructions this time. Fairly straightforward for the time. Low part count again. This is a used kit, so it did come with a lot of notes. Um, Cockpit's basic detailing, but nothing to write home about. But again, basic details for the time. Pretty straightforward, as you can see. Cockpit's got more parts than everything else. Top and bottom fuselage go together. Little bits around, and then the engine bits at the back, so followed by the fins. So again, very low part count. You can build the weapon bay open if you wish, landing gear up or down. And then we've got the decal schemes for both aircraft. All right, speaking of decals, let's go on with that. The decals were here. This, like I say, this was a used kit, so everything was bagged up in separate little third-party bags. Here's the decal sheet. They give you essentially the same aircraft, just with, depending on which paint you're going to put on, what'll show up better. We'll see how those look. Again, I haven't decided if I'm going to build it as one of these, use these decals, or maybe do another Canadian what if. One never knows. Two types of canopies here. So I assume one was for a prototype and one was more for a production model. So again, we'll see how I do with the cockpit. We'll see what happens with the canopy. I haven't really decided yet. I do like the second one though, a little bit bigger. Might show off the cockpit if I put a fairly good job in there. So that's the canopy. Okay, now the whopping two whole trees of parts. We will start with the top tree. Again, pretty straightforward. Again, fairly large aircraft for 72nd scale of this scheme. Nothing really to write home about in terms of panel lines. Nothing really there. Again, it's all what if, so what do you expect? We've got the tail stuff. Includes a cockpit figure, which isn't bad, I suppose. I never put one in, so that's the underside. We'll show the top side here. It's always tough with black at the best of times, right? Landing gear wheels, etc. So, yep, that's the one sprue. And then the second sprue includes the two options for the cockpit assembly and the underside. Again, absence of any panel lines. So you can see there the weapons bay, the various weapons right there, landing gear doors, etc. Yeah, the engine assembly. Engine's very, pretty detailed bits there. And the cockpit actually is fairly detailed, including a separate part for the command control stick, the yoke, shall we say. So again, interesting. So fairly simple build. Again, we'll see what we do with it at some point. I'm not sure if I'm going to build this one next or not, but always good to see. And I thought I should get another one out of the series. So that is the F-19 Stealth, quote unquote. from a tallery, from a tester's mold, built quite a long time ago, 30 years ago. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what I decide to do with it. Again, if you're looking for something more modern, you're not going to find it, at least for this subject. And that's about it. So as always, don't forget, check out the website, blackfire.ca, like and subscribe. And you can also follow me on the Scale Model Podcast at scalemodelpodcast.com. As always, thank you and be well.